Hey folks, happy Wednesday to you. It's Jason here, former market maker and one of the pro traders over at TrueTrader.net. Everybody over there knows me as a goose in the chat room. I said this is a midweek watch that I plan to do every week. Try to give you my perspectives on what I'm looking at for maybe Thursday and Friday. Also, something that maybe has happened in the week sometimes or other information. Each video, I'm going to try to keep it to about 10 minutes long. And hopefully you guys find a lot of value in that. So with that all being said, I'm going to jump right into the disclaimer here. Let me close this down. And TrueTrader North's representatives, myself, are registered as a securities broker dealer or investment advisor with the SEC or any state regulatory authorities. I said we're not licensed or qualified to provide investment advice. This is 100% entertainment purposes only, guys, okay? And treat it that way. Have your own plans. Don't follow anything I'm doing or anybody else is doing. Always have your own plans and your own ideas. This is just for entertainment purposes. So now that we got that out of the way, let me jump into this. I'm going to try to keep this to 10 minutes. That's the trick here, so you guys don't get bored. And let's just jump in. I had to SPY in the Qs just up to kind of show you and just to comment real quick about what's been going on. Today was kind of one of those days where the market was pretty much flat. I think the Dow and the SPY ended up closing down, and the Qs were up a little bit. Qs, I think, set another record today. But the market's been real funny. You got some big runners going on, and you got other names that you would think would have the follow through, and there's zero follow through on the bounce. They just kind of hover, or maybe end of the day you're seeing a little bit of push. So it's not been the easiest of markets. As you can see the SPY here, here's the Qs. This is a daily chart, by the way, that I have up. But you could kind of see the Qs hit another level up here today. So let's just dive in. My first one that I'm going to go into today is CZR, Caesar Entertainment. So this is a funny one for me, and why it is I love playing stocks off the century mark. Okay, so there's a couple things that I just want to point out on this. You have the previous low. You got a monthly pivot. You got the 50-day right here up at this 102 area. So what I wrote down is 102 and 100. I'm looking down just to make sure I got my numbers right. And then right below that at the century mark here, you got an annual. Just below it, as well as the 100. And psychologically, trust me, guys, $50, $100, $150, $200, those are big numbers psychologically. They do tend to hold. So I like trading these things off there. So I'll watch for Caesar, a little weakness in the morning, 102 to 100, and see what happens there. Diving into the next one, YETI. Keeping things cool, right? Terrible joke, sorry. 88 and 86 is what I wrote down. So 88, again, you'll notice a lot of times I'm referring to 50 days, 200 days, 20 days, prior support. So in this case right now, you're looking at, I wrote down for 88 on YETI. You have the 50-day down here. That's where I'm looking at right now for a wash on YETI. And then also there's some support and some pivots down below at the 86 area right here. So you can see this prior support, you got some pivots in here and prior support over here. So I'll look for a weakness. Again, what I look for, just in case you didn't catch my last video, is early morning, that first 15 minutes, I want emotional moves into some key levels on the daily. So you get these imbalances and you're looking for these $2, $3, $4 washes. And everybody says, that's crazy that you have these levels on there. It's crazy until you see them happen. You see them on other stocks. Why can't it be something that you're prepared for? Okay, guys? So just have that in mind. So YETI, that's my level, 88 and 86. 86 right off this level in the support area, and we'll see what happens tomorrow on that. So NUE is the next one. So you can see I like these type of things where they're kind of hugging the 50-day here. This is an interesting one. I wrote down on NUE 95.50 and 94.50. 95.50, you'll see right here is the it's a little bit below today's low. So you got the 50-day right here, 95.49, and then 94.50 is going to be right where this annual is, as well as this low from the other day. So that's where I came up with 95.50 and 94.50. I'm looking for a bounce off those levels. Ideally, a lot of times when I don't give my targets, I'm looking for $1, $2, maybe even on ones that have range, $3, $4, $5 range. Maybe I'll leave a fourth on or a third on for a bigger trade. So let's say I take a third off for a point. I'll take a 1.5 on maybe the second, third, and then I'll try to leave a little bit on and trail my stop or something of that nature. So if you're looking for targets, that's kind of what I go for. On the big ones, which I do have a big one today, I'll tell you what I'm looking at in a few minutes. I'll sometimes leave a quarter on for a ridiculous move, for that oh my God type move. So moving right along, TIGR is the next one on my list, TIGR. And on TIGR, what I wrote down was 25.10 and 24.20. So 25.10 and 24.20. So right here on 25.10, you got a 20-day right here. That's what I'm looking for on TIGR. Pulling back to the 20-day, it closed close to highs today. I like that action. I always look for stocks that are closing on highs, and I also like when they close above moving averages. So I like to see it close above a 20-day or above a 50-day to kind of keep this trend moving forward. Just a brief talk on moving averages. Like when I look at a 20 moving average, you know, how I look at that is I kind of look at it as a trend. Some people draw trend lines. I like to use a short-term moving average, like a 20-day, to kind of see what the trend's doing. That's what that'll show you. You can see this is a nice uptrend. You can look at the stock. It's real obvious. It's pulled back to that trend line. If you were to have drawn a line, you know, from right here, you probably see it's right on the trend line there from this area. So you can see how it's kind of hugging it. So anyway, it is a moving average, but I kind of refer to them as a little bit of a trend line. So TIGR, I wrote it down again, 25.10 and 24.20. 24.20 was today's low. That's Friday. Today is Wednesday. Wednesday's low. So today's low. So that's where I came up with that. Another one that's really high on my list that I'm kind of watching really heavy is this Airbnb. So there's a couple things on Airbnb I want to point out. I wrote down 147.80. 147.80, you could see there's a lot there. So that's today's low, but you can also see there's an annual. You also have the 20-day here. And I want to show you something that I'm looking for. Is a lot of times when you see this 20-day, which is that short-term trend, pass through the 50-day, you might see a little jolt in it. So I like looking for these setups where they start getting real close and passing through it. And you can see some up. And I want to be around for this clear. If it clears this resistance level that it's had, I want to be around for it. It's a name that has $5 or $6 ATR on it. You can see right down there, 575. So there's plenty of range in this name. I'd love to buy some weakness on this for the setup. And I'm not sure it's going to happen tomorrow. It'd have to be a pretty big move for it to pass through tomorrow, but in the next couple of days. But I want to be around for it because you never know when that move is going to happen. So Airbnb, watch off 147.80. Should be interesting. Next one, Plug, PLUG. Here's another one that's setting up that I always say I want to be around for. So I traded this today, actually. So I'm a little bit familiar with it. But yesterday it closed on highs. I was looking for a retracement when it closes on highs. You can see the 200-day is 32.34. So what I have written down is 32 on this, which is just below the 200-day. And I think it's today's low is where I came. It's today's low. But I want to be around. Look at this clear right here off this 34.50. And I want to be around if Plug ends up testing those levels. It might not happen tomorrow where it clears, but again, this is something for Thursday, Friday. This might be one where it pushes into it tomorrow. You get possibly there's a good entry there off that 32.30, that 200-day, maybe to push into 34.50 the next day. Friday it pushes through it, and then you have some clear sailing up into this next level here, 37, 36 area. Okay, so Plug I definitely think is worth an eye. AFRM is next on my list. AFRM. All right, AFRM, I wrote down 63.30 and 62.50, which is the previous low and the 50-day. So the previous low from today, 63.30, and then the 50-day is 62.50. This is when I just want to show you the action on this, which I found pretty interesting when I looked at this name. So it's closing above the 50-day, which I like. You can see the little hammer candle built into there that you can see it closed above the 50-day there. But you see the same type of action happening here, and then boom, same type of action. I'm looking for that, and I'm looking for a 73 push on this name, and hopefully in the near term. But I want to be around, make sure I got plenty of risk here. I got the support area down here. I got the prior day, from Monday. I got the 50-day here. I think there's plenty of support in here for a play. So I'll be watching AFRM either off 63.30 or 62.50. All right, I'm going to save the big range one for last. I want to jump into LAZR next, LAZR. So LAZR, I have to keep this on my list, and there's a pretty easy reason on this one. I wrote down the 22 area. You can see the 200-day, the 50 days right in this area. I mean, there is plenty here for support. You can see it's still holding. The one thing is it's definitely, starting this little short-term downtrend that you have here. But in the big picture, it's been moving up. It's kind of holding this line. If I were to draw a line from here, probably right towards the bottom of that support, which lines up with the 50 and the 200. Okay, so today was a green candle. I like the risk off this 22 area to see if it turns back up and closes, stays above the 200 and the 50-day for the next push up here. So I like LAZR. Not a ton of range, $1.50 range on it, but I like the risk reward on a possible trade like that. So last one I'm going to go to is Upstart UPST. So this is the big one, right? Huge range this has. The ATR on this is 1430. I want to let you guys know when I look at these, whether it's FUTU, Upstart, you got to remember range. I always size myself accordingly when you have these giant ranges. You have to do that, guys. Just make sure that you adjust for these range because, on a stock that has $14 ATR or $10 ATR, a lot of times a 50 cent or $1 stop doesn't fit the bill on something like this. So you got to adjust yourself to make sure your risk reward is all in the right place. You know, so Upstart, what I wrote down on this one, it's pretty tight considering the ATR, but I still want to watch this level 122.20 and 119.40. So you got the 50-day right here at 122.20. I want to see what it's going to do there. Closed at 125, so that's pretty close, but you'll see what happens. And then the next level I have is a support level. It was at it was a previous low at 119.40, which was, I think, today's low. So I want to watch those two levels. If it breaks through all them, I'd probably, my next level will be down here at the 110 area, which you never know on a name with this range. But I like these consolidations. Obvious uptrend in the name. Consolidation for another leg up. I want to be around, especially if the risk is tight. Maybe after 10 o'clock or 9:45, it's holding the level, makes a nice higher low right off those levels, and I'm in it. So just some names to throw at you. If you guys have any questions, please make sure you reach out. I love hearing the feedback, good, bad, indifferent. Keep them coming, guys. I have thick skin, so I'm okay. Tell me what you guys want to see also. I really don't do a lot of small caps. I'm not one to, get small caps pumping or anything like that. I like to cover different names and not just the same names every time. So you'll see new names, hopefully, on my list most times. All right. You guys have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and wish you guys all luck the rest of the week. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.